Hello,
Hey,
Andy.
hey, Eugene.
Welcome to the Transmission of Awakening channel. How are you?
I'm honored and thrilled and
Great,
content and grateful. Yeah.
cool. So I want to start out by saying namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah, take a deep breath. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. It's amazing how we can just tune in for from thousands of miles away.
I know. Not to jump the gun on what we're going to talk about. Not that this will be the only thing, but Saint Germain and a number of other cosmic beings always embrace like the expansion of and use of technology. You know. And
Really?
like there's a lot of purists that say, like, oh, we need to, cut electricity and, not use petroleum, which is true. It'd be nice if we could use clean electricity, clean power, but, I mean, to use it for purity, to use it for good, to use it for progress and happiness and health, helping the fellow man. So here we are. This is great.
Yeah,
This is like space age stuff we're doing right now.
I know. That's awesome. I know. You
Yeah.
sound like you're just like right here.
I know, right?
So I wanted to interview you because I've seen you over the years in
Yeah.
Fairfield, Iowa, where I was, and you've always had this kind of like bright, bigger than life personality, and I've seen you perform. But also, I know you're into like bhajans and you're very into spirituality. So I thought it was fitting that I'd interview you about your path and, things like that. So can you just like tell us about yourself and what got you started?
Oh yeah. Let's see. A a big door for my consciousness expansion. Don't laugh. Was when I moved out of my parents' house. Finally. Isn't that a perfect time to just to wake up? I mean, it was literally a box, of walls, and God bless my parents. I mean, they're awesome people. I love them, truly, deeply, eternally, and like, um, but you know how it goes. Like somebody could be a complete Buddha, completely awakened, and I could be completely awakened, and we aren't meant to live together in a house.
Yeah,
It's just
I,
not
I,
our
I can
karma.
relate to that.
And yeah, and now, and on that note, of course, I do give thanks. I think maybe we were meant to live together in a house for a certain amount of time, like childhood, of course. So that was all perfect too. But as soon as I moved out of there, I just started having like just like floodgate of aha moments, and I within a year, then I moved to from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, to where you are now, up just north of San Fran in the Napa Valley, and I moved out with a rock and roll band that I was playing with, and a jam band, and we moved from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, to Calistoga, California, and had the time of our lives. I played with them for 2 years, and I spent 2 more years out there. And if you can imagine the floodgate that happened when I moved out of my parents' house, imagine the floodgate of hanging out in San Francisco a couple times a month, and living in the redwoods, and you know Calistoga is famous for its spas and healers. So the first weekend I moved there, played at a Halloween show, a party with all these people from Calistoga and Santa Rosa and San Fran. They were all healers and meditators and yogis and hippies, and right away in NorCal, woke me up. And then that's where I got my Reiki master degree. Started teaching Reiki. That was huge for me for a long time. That was a floodgate there too. Um, and then just being surrounded by good people, good culture, And also good nature, the messages that you get from a redwood tree. That's 4,000 years old is very similar to that of a guru, that's been meditating in the Himalayas for 4,000 years, because that's basically what they're doing. Is they're chilling there. They're a tree is a guru.
That's true.
So a 4,000-year-old guru, it's pretty mind expanding and heart opening. And awakening just to be in that atmosphere, and I was pretty. That's one thing. That's one thing. That's interesting. I was ready. I was starving, for a good spiritual meal, and Northern California gave me very good organic spiritual food.
So prior to that, in Wisconsin, you didn't have any interest in spirituality?
My drummer of my band was a philosophy major from University of Wisconsin Oshkosh, and his twin Ray came from the Napa Valley. That's why we were attracted out there. She invited us out eventually, and she was an art major, along with her older sister, who was an art major. And so we, a philosophy major, art major, and a couple of young kids that were starving for spiritual windows, equated to the California move and to a lot of awakening. Pat Feistel was that drummer, and he was kind of my first. Yeah, he was my first. I don't want to say guru, but teacher in a sense of Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle. Like he was my Eckhart Tolle for 4 years, and he's who turned me on. Him and other people who turned me on to deeper spiritual wisdom teaching. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so then you're from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and you have this awakening experience after leaving your parents' house, and you're going touring in California, Northern California, and then you end up in Iowa, Fairfield, Iowa. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I know, right? Living out in
You're back in the
metropolis,
Midwest,
California.
in the cornfields. So what happened?
Yeah, cows and cornfields. I moved back after 4 years in Cali. I moved back to Wisconsin for 13 months, 1 year. That was fun. I felt like I had this torch of invincibility and wisdom that I was gonna shine and heal the city of Oshkosh and the state of Wisconsin with. And you arguably, how healing goes. You don't know. You can't put a finger on like I did that. But you can definitely say like, oh, in that year, like I saw a fair amount of people turn their heads towards yoga and vegetarianism and organic food and sustainability and stuff. And so I think we helped out a lot there, my friend and I.
So how did you do that? Was it like consciously, or just were you like psychically sending them, Reiki stuff? How did you do that?
Yeah. Definitely like doing like city healing, city clearings, on the area.
Okay.
And on the general collective consciousness, envisioning kind of the spirit, the I am presence of a city, and opening up to it, communicating with it like it's a friend, and respecting it and saying namaste spirit that you would to me right now, and listening just as much as you're speaking. In fact, listening a little more maybe, like when you're by the 4,000-year-old redwood tree. Yeah. Would you want to tell 4,000-year redwood tree a bunch of stuff? Maybe, but 4,000-year-old redwood tree's probably got a lot of things to tell you. So
more about listening.
Same with the city, I think. Got a lot to tell you, and you can tell it like, hey, you got a yoga school right there. Like, let's use that. You look like you could enjoy it. From what you're telling me and what you're doing with your life. I think yoga would be a good thing for you. Oshkosh, Wisconsin has some really nice yoga centers. So just moments like that, and then also moments where you're hanging out in your second story apartment and you're looking over the street and you're thinking, for the sacred fire to come forth and clear the street and heal the people, stuff like that. So that's how I was directed to Fairfield though. The New Year's Eve of 2007 going into 8, my Vedic astrologer in Oshkosh said, Andy, check this out, mum.edu, Maharshi University of Management website. And he's like, man, you got to check this out. So at first I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm definitely going to visit here. When I saw Vedic science, philosophically, spiritually oriented, consciousness-based education, organic, vegetarian, Ayurvedic cafeteria, and a number of other things. Oh, well, all the students learn to meditate and do yoga and all that great stuff. All those were very I'm gonna visit that place kind of moments. And then the clicker was a couple days later, or the day after, I think January 1st. I checked out the website on my own and found the sustainable living degree. And so I visited on January 11th and 12th. Turned out to be Maharshi Yogi's birthday. It was kind of a neat time to see Fairfield for the first time. And then moved down on, I think, the 20th, something like that. So it was like a 20-day turn, a decision to jump to Fairfield. It was great. It was awesome. Worth it.
Yeah, I had the same experience. I mean, I through the grapevine, the spiritual grapevine. I heard about Fairfield, and it was totally spontaneous. And I came to one of those open houses, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and within a month, I moved here. I moved there, so I totally can relate to that experience. I think it's like a calling, when you're meant to go to Fairfield,
Yep.
it just kind of nature organizes and you just like end up there. So what
Yeah.
happened after that?
Oh, well, I got started with the school, learned transcendental meditation, and uh, learned the ways, the teachings of Mahesh Yogi, and was definitely initially very put off by the kind of like the dogmaticness of the TM movement. Loved Maharshi, loved the teachings, loved the Ved, loved Krishna, Ram, Sita, all those great beings and presences in the universe. And MUM embraces those, but then it also puts a little twist on things, which is tough. We could talk about this today. It's actually, God bless them, like this might be a great discussion to just dive into for the benefit of all life, and especially humanity, is when it starts needing to get governmental, political, of course, financial. It's just like a person, it's just like a person. Once again, TM movement is a body, is a person, a being, and is an individual presence. And check its chakras. It's sacral chakra. It's got this, I'm not going to say it's like terrible. They got a fair amount of money in the TM movement. But for instance, when I visualize the sacral chakra of the TM movement, I see a leak. I see a leak going to unnecessary places. And when that's happening, that's where we build up tension, firstly, and that's what in confusion and fear, and that's where we build up. And eventually, if we're really not paying attention, we build up shit like cancer and whatever, some infection. And it amounts to something from a singular molecule, from a single atom, from a single vibration. So let's even take a moment to do that right now. Let's pinpoint the single vibration that has been misusing Transcendental Meditation's financial power and abundance and flow, and misdirecting it to a place that's not being used for the ultimate highest good of all life in the universe. So we just find the source of that. We find the exact vibration of where that came from, and we send it back to source, and we visualize just becoming pure light again, being recomposed, and it'll come back. The same energy will come back recomposed, just like puzzle pieces need to be put together in an appropriate way. Okay, so anyways, we just did that. That was fun. That was a big part of the TM movement, and God bless them. Is just feeling certain imbalances in their human. It's just their human self, You can't judge it. You can't blame it. They're growing. In the 6 years, I spent 1 year away from Fairfield, but collectively I've been here a little over 5 years. And in the 5 years I've lived in this town, the evolution of this town has excelled miraculously, tremendously. And in the TM, and alongside with the TM movement has excelled and evolved tremendously in 5 years, which is just a perfect symbol of where how society's working right now too. We can get into that if you want, but Fairfield's just a great example of progress, and I've enjoyed seeing this town unfold and blossom even in 5 years.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I as a belly dancer, I mean, when I
Mm.
first got here, it was like I keep saying here, like I'm still in Fairfield. See, when I first got there, 2001, I believe, and I couldn't even mention the word belly dance, you
Oh,
know. And then a few years ago, I started performing on campus. So
yeah, you rock here now. Now people love you here.
I hope so. I mean, I think you have to accept life as it is, you know, and spirituality comes in many colors. That's just my belief. Um, I learned TM and it was great, you know, but am I gonna change who I am and what
Right,
other gifts I have to offer? I mean, like people like you who's come here, you come with a wealth of knowledge, you know, and it's just we keep evolving. You know, it's not about being put into like a little box.
mm,
You know, it's growing. And in the TM movement, they talk about self referral. You know,
yeah,
I mean, so what is
yeah. That's That's the great central sun.
that?
That's the ultimate core of the universe. That's the place where we send all energy to be recomposed and healed.
Yeah,
And yes, self referral.
self referral and healing. Yeah, it was very healing. I mean, that place. I mean, people say that it's a portal. I mean, there's like a lot going on. I mean, the energy is like very intense there
Hmm.
sometimes. Okay, maybe a
Yeah,
lot of time.
yeah.
So what's your experience with that?
The energy of Fairfield.
Yeah, the energy of Fairfield.
Cool topic. All right. So for those listeners or viewers that don't know about Fairfield, Iowa, what was it, 1972 or 74 or something like that? The Transcendental Meditation movement was in Santa Barbara or something like that, and they had a little campus, a school. It was like one building as far as I've heard, and it was getting popular and bigger. And Maharshi Mahesh Yogi was this big, sexy deal in the 1960s and 70s, and so everybody wanted to learn TM and check this school out. So they were growing, and they founded. I mean, there's a number of reasons. They didn't just do it for the cheap campus that was for sale in the Midwest of Southeast Iowa here. I'm sure there were other cosmic reasons that they chose Fairfield, Iowa, but one of them was it was a very affordable school, a very affordable campus that had gone out of business. Parsons College went out of business, and the TM movement hopped on the opportunity to expand and have a more organized professional education program with full-on college degrees, scholarships, master's degrees, PhD, all that stuff. It's a very, very cool community, very, very cool school for anybody that's listening to this that's interested in alternative education, real spiritual, deep, health-based education. Maharshi Mahesh Yogi is a very practical, incredibly grounded fellow with his spirituality and his wisdom. So that's Fairfield in general for anyone who's tapping into that.
But
And
also, there's lots of meditation going on, right?
yes, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah. So that kind of
yeah,
shifts things a little bit.
yo,
Around the clock meditation.
yeah. There's these two big golden domes they call them, and they hold up to 2,000 people or so. And I don't know. I think the numbers are kind of low right now. It's interesting. Some of the people that are really into the Maharshi effect, which says more people meditating, more peace. You
Right.
radiate. If you're meditating in Washington D.C., there's a bunch of crime. If you get a bunch of people meditating together, the crime will lower. The most famous test. that Transcendental Meditation ever did. And it's the same, in Fairfield. Only we got it every day. I mean, like, yeah, definitely front doors unlocked, bikes not chained up. Yeah, you get bikes stolen. Yeah, there's still crime. Yes, you still get people in car accidents and stuff like that here, but I definitely would say there's less of it. And I mean, let's put it this way: when you're in Fairfield, because of all those people meditating, and you still have freedom. You still have freedom. There's no vortex that says you can't smoke a cigarette, you can't drink a beer, you can't eat meat, you can't swear or hate or fear. You can do that. That's the beauty of the human species. It's the beauty of our cosmic reality. And Fairfield is no different. We're not a vortex of exception. But I do feel this. I feel that when you are in alignment with your Dharma and your self-awareness and self-acceptance and communal acceptance, communal awareness, and communal forgiveness and understanding and wisdom, Fairfield is a very powerful place to be. And when I say power, the first thing that comes to mind, I think, for a lot of people is fire and wheels spinning quicker and rockets taking off and, earthquakes and that is power. But there's also power to, for instance, when you're in a national park and for 200 miles in each direction, you can't hear anything unnatural. You can hear elk, you can hear birds, you can hear the wind and the breeze, but you're not hearing a train tooting and or cars tires squeaking or anything like that. And in the same regard, Fairfield has a very powerful aura and a very powerful support for peace, I would say. The power of peace. And it's not necessarily physical, sensible, visible, audible. I mean, we used to have a train honk. They just got this huge, this big thing done with Fairfield. It was a huge investment and huge project to get the train to stop honking every time it came through town, like 20, 30 times. So loud, and if you live next to the track, it was audibly hell. It was terrible. Yeah. And they got that fixed. So I like that. That's a huge plus. I think people are diving deeper in their meditations and stuff because of that. But so Fairfield isn't the peace that you would get in Guerneville, California. Or one of those nights like Gualala. Have you ever been to Gualala up north?
Where are those places?
Guerneville is just west of Santa Rosa. It's in the redwoods, huge old peaceful redwoods, and just hippie central, and just everybody's flashing peace signs and drinking organic beer and probably smoking some doobie and just chilling and enjoying the redwoods. And then Guerneville is up on the coast in North Sonoma, I think, right at the tip of Mendo there. And just utter peace in the atmosphere, and just God is the only existing vibration in certain vortexes of that area. All you hear is the ocean waves, the winds, the seagulls, and all that beautiful natural energy. Fairfield is not that. Beautiful natural energy here is within, as all the great studies and teachings have told us. And not to preach, I do believe there's a yin and a yang where it does have a very big effect to be in Gualala or the redwoods, and have the external peace. I definitely think there's power and beauty and significance and importance to that. But and Fairfield doesn't really have that as much. We're not a big town, so we don't have crime and stuff like you would in Chicago or something. But and the stress that you would have in your surroundings there, it's peaceful like that. But you don't have a big ocean or big trees or a mountain or anything here really, like as far as nature to gawk at. The real thing to gawk at, the real beauty here is internally, and uh, it's starting more and more as the TM movement's been here now 40 years. More and more manifesting externally, and it is a project of bringing that internal amazingness of 2,000 people and more around the town. There's more than 2,000 people meditating every day. Doesn't matter if they're in those domes. I don't think. I don't think it matters if they're in those domes. I think if you got 5,000 people meditating and kind of like I'm doing it at 4 o'clock, you're doing 5, I did it at 7, and we were in different houses. Like, I mean, that's radiance. You're still radiating a lot of light, and we're getting that, and it's coming out physically. It's coming out more and more actively and more in the real material world in this town. And showing up in things like, for instance, a 17-mile loop trail around the town. That, stuff like that. A loop trail to ride your bike. You can ride your bike around the whole town, take a hike. And, little projects like that, what is utopia? What is paradise? Does it have to be on an ocean? Does it have to be 70 degrees all the time? And so we haven't created it here yet externally fully, but we got a lot of great visions and a lot of good things are coming. The seeds are coming through the surface now, and some of them are full-grown trees bearing fruit, but definitely more and more of these beautiful organic ideas are coming through the earth, and soon will bear fruit, and soon will manifest some golden age moments, in full.
Yeah. Well, I already saw it happening before I left. I mean, there's been new families, younger families moving in, lots of babies being born.
Big, yeah.
So it definitely is like a springing of Fairfield. It's blossoming. So I want to get back to the idea of communal healing. You've mentioned that. So
Yeah.
what do you mean by communal healing? I think that's a very beautiful concept, and I just want to hear more.
Forgive me. What kind of healing?
Oh, communal healing.
Communal
You
healing.
mentioned
Thank you.
communal healing, and I think that's a very beautiful concept. So I want to hear more.
Nice. Yeah. So when we think of Shiva, pardon me quickly.
Sure, no problem. I've got my kombucha right here too.
Yeah. I've been making these super
All right,
waters.
how about this? How about this?
Yeah.
Healing and
Yeah.
community.
Awaken
And
this.
community.
Yeah. I'm making these super waters. Just regular water. I get RO water. They're probably better to get spring. Chia seeds, goji berries. This is my morning blend. Himalayan salt, fresh lemon juice, organic kelp powder, and diatomaceous earth, food grade, and turmeric powder. Oh, and then honey, some nice local honey. When the water is, I've heard 5 seconds. Put your finger in there for 5 seconds. If you can not hold your finger comfortably for 5 seconds, you shouldn't put raw honey in there, I've heard. So,
right. Wow.
Mix. I've been like buzzing off that lately. Every time I try to take a drink of water, it's like this super mineralized, super cleansing, super energizing stuff.
Yeah, looks like
a little tip there. Make your own super water. It's great. You pay like $4 for a glass of kombucha at the store nowadays, so it's important we make our own little super things. Maybe that'll be in the stores someday too. Maybe you'll be able to buy that. So the collective I am of like a town or a country or a planet. I mean, that's pretty obvious. What it's when you are able to take a step back, and I mean, we all have our moments where we're thinking of the whole earth, and we're thinking of the whole city, and we're thinking of our whole family or whatever it wants. And in the story of the Shiva Mahapuran, story of Shiva, the Hindu deity, Shiva is the creator of everything. He created the Trimurti of Vishnu and Brahma. He created those guys, like all the gods he even created. And our earth and everything is this great, beautiful seed, a garden of Shiva, according to Hinduism. Now, even Shiva has a body, you know? And even the whole universe, Shiva's the whole universe, has a body, has a name, has a way to communicate with it. I mean, communicate, when we think, I don't want to limit, communication to like this kind, like, English audible, of course, that might happen, but there are ways of communicating with the whole universe. One way is Shiva. Any real guru, any real enlightened sage, any real person in unity or Brahman consciousness is the whole universe. Now, we are the whole universe too, of course. Think about some of those guys that are up in those higher dimensions, in full embodiment in the higher dimensions, is that they are constantly, to a vibration of their being, and physically, time-wise, everything, are in alignment with divine law, divine reality. And so these beings can be in a human body, like Amachi, for instance. Not to plug her or anything, but I do honestly think she's an existence of unity consciousness, very possibly, as her followers say, an avatar, reincarnation of Mata Kali, the Parvati, Divine Mother. That's very possible. And what that is like almost like saying in that one body, Amachi, in this human body, is all that. She really is Parvati, really is Kali. Like, that's huge. In the same sense as Shiva, Parvati, mind you, is Shiva's wife. Twin ray. In fact, he doesn't even need Parvati because he is the male and the female at once. But he separates to help us understand it better. He separates to have Parvati, so that our intellect can get it, which is a great idea, genius. Full props, Jay Shiva. And so I guess that applies. That applies to all these bodies that we are individually, and the bodies that we are as a city, a country, and as a planet, solar system, galaxy, universe. We have bodies. We have personalities. Think about how many elements we have in our personality of, like, fire, water, earth, air, things that we hold on to traditionally, dogmatically maybe, tendencies and things. We're all such amazing, unique individuals because we're composed of all these sub-beings, if you will, that are making us up. So we arguably are a sub-being of Earth, Milky Way galaxy, etc., that are just atomically, subatomically, vibrationally making up the collective being. And so to wrap that up, yeah. Sorry?
So in terms of healing.
Yeah.
So how does that?
Yeah. How would we? Yeah, right. How would we jam with healing?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Thank you. I was totally just gonna like flow into that. It's a great question. That's what it's all about. Is to know that when, for instance, in my healing experience, when I have someone on my healing table, or I'm just working with someone, more often than not, you can dig in, you can work details, and that's good. There's the yin and the yang. The yang says details. The yang says let's find everything that is right and everything that is wrong and everything that's balanced or imbalanced, and let's tweak it here and there and there. And we need that. But there's also the feminine. There's the yin that just says this is just who's on my table right now. This is Regina on the table. You know what? I don't care what's wrong or right with her. Just bless her. Bless everything about her right now. Every vibration of her being right now. I don't care. No judgment. No good. No bad. Just praise. Just love. Purity. Goodness. And in the same way, we can communicate with our towns. We can communicate with our countries. We can talk with America. America's a being. A lot of people say "F you, America," because it is. It's corrupt. It's sick. It's ill. It needs a chiropractic adjustment. It needs a massage. It needs a total revamp of its diet. Mind you, what is it? 2 or 3%? This is huge. 2 or 3% of people are buying organic now. That sounds measly, but it's huge because it was way smaller before, and that's growing. When I say 3%, that's like now it's up to 3 after being in. It gained 1% like in 3 years or something like that, which is huge. And that's that part of you that has an organic iceberg lettuce leaf on the hamburger. That's the organic iceberg lettuce leaf that is the one thing that's actually giving you any nutrients and not toxifying you with white bread and genetically modified RGBH cheese and some factory raised meat. You got that one slice of iceberg lettuce. So that's what we got. We finally got that iceberg lettuce on the burger, but we didn't have that before. Before it was like one little shred of sauerkraut or something that we had before as far as hope and health in our being, in the collective being of America. And, so now we got an organic slice of iceberg lettuce. That's huge. People are going to start realizing that iceberg lettuce on their hamburger is what's giving them the energy, is what's making them feel a little better. And when they read about it, too, even aside from personal experience, they're going to realize that the iceberg lettuce is the ideal thing to eat, and nothing else on that burger really is that great. And so they're going to expand on that. It's going to go quick. It's going to go quick. And we're going to soon, all of a sudden, you're going to start noticing we're going to have a whole salad of just all we're going to eat now is a salad organic iceberg lettuce. And then all of a sudden you're going to say, oh, well, iceberg lettuce isn't that good. Now we're going to switch to kale and collards and chard and arugula and stuff and basil, stuff that really heals you. So that's the meal of America collectively right now, as I can feel it. I'm sure y'all can relate. I think we're getting to that organic salad.
So are you a vegetarian then?
I am. Yeah. I've been through many phases with that, and one was when I was a raw vegan organic. And that was the toughest one. I think my ego was definitely, my judgment was flaming when I was raw vegan organic, and I looked at everything as less than and wrong and unhealthy. And it was my mission in the world to make everyone in the world raw vegan organic. And I'm vegetarian. I eat pretty much just cultured milk, and definitely try to get organic. But definitely try to get a high vibe veggie diet and get a lot of protein. You got all these superfoods out there nowadays. People are like, you're not getting your protein, you're not getting your calcium, you're not getting your B's. One word, one phrase: Garden of Life. And that's not the only company, but you could just go to that company and you'd be fine with all your vegetarian, vegan, raw vegan. They're raw vegan, organic. There's many other companies that do that as well, but Garden of Life is just one quick answer. You easily get all your stuff you need in a vegan diet.
And is it non-GMO too?
I believe they're pretty non-GMO. I get this stuff. This stuff's pretty this stuff's pretty killer. Raw meal.
Oh yeah. That's
vegan,
awesome.
gluten-free,
I have
dairy
that.
free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this stuff's great. You get all your B12, and I wish they had a little more calcium and magnesium. But whatever. Shoot.
Yeah, there are some people vegetarians and spiritual people who don't believe in supplements.
Sure, sure, sure.
They think you
I
can
mean,
get
that's cool.
everything from your food. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, if you really think so. I mean, I think with all that stuff personally, side note is like the fact that you could be like eating one way and thinking it's like just like the ultimate, and you could walk out on the street tonight and get hit by a car.
yeah,
So I
it's
don't
true.
care. I don't care. As long as you're following your heart, as long as you're seriously happy and you're taking note of like, oh, and then 2 hours later or an hour later, I felt like crap, or I did feel the downswing. I didn't. It wasn't just a tasty meal. It actually helped me feel good emotionally and energetically.
Hmm.
If you're being cool about that, like, yeah, you're gonna be fine. I think,
Hmm.
and try to be cool about like where you're getting stuff, like not
Hmm.
hurting anybody,
Yeah.
uh, especially the animals, but or the workers. Um, yeah, I think there's a million great diets out there, including ones that involve meat right now.
So you seem like you're very inclusive of other people's beliefs and paths, and like you don't seem very dogmatic. Um, so what do you believe in? Like, what else do you? What would
Ha!
be? I mean, no, I could feel. I feel like you're very open-hearted and
Thank you.
non-judgmental. You know. So do you
Thanks.
believe in? But at the same time, you've been on a spiritual path. So I mean, do you believe like there's an end goal, like enlightenment?
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Great question. Cool. I studied the I Am activity for 6 years, the Saint Germain Foundation. Great teachings, great teachings. Uh, and um, one of the things I learned about that, one of the things that they're about ascended master teachings and uh, kind of studying and revering and learning from beings that have ascended. There's beings that never were on this earth that are in the higher dimensions that help this earth, that are in contact with this earth, in contact with us individually. But they didn't necessarily ascend. They were just like, kind of create. They just are in the higher realities. And they don't need to come into embodiment. Um, but what it brings up is that we can do that. We can ascend. We can reach enlightenment. We can reach victory. And uh, also, what it brings to mind is that we have this vision of ascension or enlightenment being like this top of the mountain, the peak of the mountain. And once we get to that peak, we look at it and we look down, we put a flag on it or something. We sit down and have a picnic. I don't know, whatever you do at the top of the mountain. You're like, all right, we're here. Nothing else we can do. We're done. Now let's go home. Or something like that, Or if you're yogi, like really reaching enlightenment, you stay up there. But they're still the top of the mountain. And what I've really, really felt since really trying to grasp and embody the idea of ascension or enlightenment for the last few years is the fact that we're constantly ascending, constantly becoming enlightened when we just become better people. Not to like say that I can tell you what good and bad is. Once again, it's self-referral. It's a matter of, do you feel like a better person? It's not what the Dalai Lama said. God bless him. He'll probably give you some great advice. It probably will give you very close to enlightenment if you follow the Dalai Lama. But it's not him. It's not him. It's not what Maharishi Mahesh Yogi said. It's not what Amachi said. It's not what Jesus said. It's not what Buddha said. Um, it's those are all. There's the old illustration. Don't get caught. Uh, uh, you know, don't get caught revering the finger pointing at the moon. Don't mistake, I should say. That's how it is. There's probably a better translation to this, but don't mistake the finger pointing at the moon for the moon. And to me, Jesus, Maharishi, Buddha, Krishna, Amma are all just amazing fingers pointing at the moon. The truth.
Hmm.
But then that's what they're saying. That's what they're telling us, is they're saying, that's the moon. Go there. You go there. Don't follow me. I mean, you can follow me. I'm leading the way. But, like, even then, it's a matter of you going there, not just watching me go there. So in that journey, every step we take towards the moon, truth, that's, to me, that's enlightenment. And once again, it's almost like, I don't know, I'm just gonna say this, but like I'm not like, 20 years from now I might like totally like shake a finger at this interview and at this moment, but I'm just gonna say there is no end. There is no even someone like Saint Germain that supposedly ascended 400 years ago or whatever, uh, uh, or Jesus that ascended 2,000 years ago, or all these great beings further back. Arguably, they're not even like a tenth of the way to the great central sun, you know? And they're getting victory all the time. They're gaining enlightenment still, you know, by expanding and going upwards and further and being real. I'm not even put a direction. I only say upwards or expansion or contraction. It's just they're just being real. They're being completely, fully true and loving, forgiving. That's all just so automatic, you know. And so even they are still gaining quote unquote enlightenment. I would say enlightenment, like Shiva, like the ultimate great central sun. Who's there? I mean, I think some of us are very connected to there, but if yeah. Anyways, I might trail off with that and just let everybody think about it, including myself. Think about that.
Yeah,
What is enlightenment? Has anyone attained it? Yes, we can obtain it, and maybe there's like different levels, like karate belts, that we can obtain or something. So, yeah, maybe some, and maybe the pink belt, maybe like the lowest belt is like what we consider to be like, whoa, look at that guy. That lived in this cave for 40 years and can answer all the questions about the earth. He's enlightened, but he's only got like his pink belt in karate.
Right.
He's only got like,
Yeah.
really not that far along universally. But on this earth, yes, he gained victory over this earth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I would say enlightenment is just the ultimate freedom, embodying freedom in yourself and understanding that there's freedom within every vibration around you and in you, and that you can touch base with that and use it, jam with it creatively, just as you would a guitar or a paintbrush.
Mm. Yeah, so speaking of freedom, I know you have the Freedom Healing Collective.
Yeah.
I mean, I can talk to you forever.
Cool.
I really feel, I think you should I feel a darshan coming from you, from the screen.
Uh huh.
Really. I mean, it's like, you really have potent energy, whatever you're doing.
Thank you.
Um, so, but I'd like to, yeah, have you talk about what you're doing, in terms of the Freedom Healing Collective, and that's something that's very special to you. And then maybe have you sing a song or something before we go.
Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah, okay, so Freedom Healing Collective is the group. The place that we run out of, we call it the Freedom Healing Center. And that has changed once. That we had two places. We might have a third place coming up.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, it's good. And I've realized, so FHC, Freedom Healing Collective, is its own thing. I was a catalyst. I was the seed planter for it. Um, and I germinated it and got it up to a seedling and then put it outside when it was strong enough to bear the weather on its own. And that's all taken place in the last 16 months we've had the project going. It came from a really cosmic place. I won't tell the story just to not ramble on for too long about it, but it was after I'd done a juice fast for about 7 days, and it was crystal clear. And I just really basically realized how great of a community we have here in Fairfield. But in general, then you realize, like, well, that applies to the whole world, really, ultimately. So we've been using Fairfield as our incubator to expand globally with a project like this, which is trade and donation or free based community work. And it's called a healing center because I'm a healer, I'm a massage therapist, and an energy worker, and that's just the theme of it. Is like, for instance, we do have open mics, we do have DJs and dance parties and potlucks, and there's open poetry night. There's uh, last night we did open song. That was really fun. This guy hosted it for the first time. We just sang old like Irish and American and Indian a cappella songs, like campfire style, and all that stuff is healing. And so the center is designed to connect people mostly, unify our community, and then through that, and give us the freedom that involves is when we're connected, like this connection right here, right now, this Skype conference, this Skype call. How free is that? It's amazing. And that's so healing. Really, freedom is one of the most, arguably the most healing energy in the universe.
I definitely feel the healing energy.
Yeah.
I definitely feel it.
And I won't get into this. We mentioned the TM movement before. We won't get into this too much, but in Fairfield, there's a little bit of there's still divisions, like the meditators, and then the Southeast Iowa people that work at a factory or whatever, that don't meditate and they don't want to, and they eat at McDonald's every day. It's great. There's nothing wrong with them, and so like we're trying to really embrace too at the same time the idea of freedom and healing. We're trying to heal the limits that people put on each other as far as cliques and different types of townsfolk and different classes and all that, and caste, like anything close to a caste system, which naturally kind of happens sometimes. So we're just trying to like draw a bridge. Reiki, one of the most advanced techniques in Reiki is to draw a bridge. You really want to heal somebody? Draw a bridge to them that says all time, all space, doesn't matter because I love you and you're awesome and I see your higher self and your higher reality, and I'm opening up myself, my pure, loving, forgiving, real self to your pure, loving, forgiving, real self. Namaste. And boom, like that's where the healing happens. That's when you're open and you're accentuating that and you're embracing and empowering that higher self.
Yeah, namaste. So
namaste. So we're trying to do that with everybody, like all the factory workers and all the meditators, and bring them together and say like, you can do whatever you want here. Let's embrace each other and heal.
Yeah, and I really thank you for. I mean, again, the reason why you're on this call is because I felt like you really embraced me throughout the years. And I've asked you to do projects. You're always like, yeah, of course, Eugene, I'll come and sing and I'll come and come and dance the Healing Collective. I mean, it's really great to like honor people and their gifts and say, hey, you have something wonderful to offer, and I want you to be part of what I'm doing.
Cool.
So I think that's beautiful. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to go soon. But I'd love you to sing a very nice healing song. And if you have a CD that you want to promote, feel free to shamelessly promote.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is one that we sing in our drum circles. We have a full moon drum circle every month. We also sing this at the saunas that we have and everything here. So it's a Native American. I don't know the tribe. Should know this. Some of you might know this. It goes great with a hand drum circle, or even just stomping your feet. And you can sing it around. You can jam out kind of gospel to it if you want to. But it goes like this. And you can take this everywhere you go. So you revere the four directions in north, south, east, west. You revere the four elements: fire, earth, air, water. You revere your ancestors, and you sing, "Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. And then you just go. It just goes. That's it. Like, you go like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. Yeah, and you just get a drum troupe going to that, you get some belly dancers happening, and some bells ringing, and like everybody's jamming. Some people jamming gospel with their voice and just paying homage to the Great Spirit, you know, that's in and around and is you.
Yeah, definitely. Homage to the Great Spirit. Thank you. Thank you
Cool.
so much, Andy. That was
Yeah.
mind blowing. Heart
Cool.
opening.
Right on. You
Well,
too. God bless
yeah, look forward to talking to you again maybe sometime.
you. Yeah. I hope to hopefully here in Fairfield sometime, or maybe I'll make it up to the Bay Area. I would love to.
Yeah,
I love.
that would be great.
Yeah. Cool. I will let you know if I'm in the Bay Area, if you're going to be there for a while. That'd be great.
Definitely.
All right.
All right, namaste.
Namaste. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.